The desert.
Won't you?
It covers countless thousands of square miles of the Earth's surface and drowns a man's tracks as surely as if it were the raging sea.
Harder to go fishing in it, though.
And a man alone, set down in the midst of this barren, relentless waste, seems but a pitiful, helpless thing indeed.
Then he realizes he's in a Far Side cartoon.
It is just past dawn when Conan sees the man. Already the blood-red sun beats down like some great beaming hammer upon the Cimmerian's brow.
Okay, this isn't a riff, but I just wanted to point out the music on this one is really good. Top-notch work, Power Records.
As his Zambulan stallion gallops across the ever-shifting sands. For a moment, a thought crosses his mind. Mirage.
That's Gregory Peck's most underrated movie. Seriously, check it out, it's very good. Walter Matthau's in it.
But then...
By Connor, it is a man, out here alone in the middle of the desert.
Just as Grinder foretold.
Hard to make him out. Whoa, boy, steady. Well, it's no mirage, as we first thought, but a real man, and he's gesturing to me.
I should stick what up where?
Oh, Greybeard. What are you doing out here alone?
My name is Sarka.
I was supposed to be on a Flash Gordon record, but I lost my way when Matthew Elliott mislabeled his audio files.
And my beard, young man, it's not grey, it's white.
My apologies, but my question remains. What are you doing out here alone in this desolate place?
You white-bearded pedantic freak.
I am here because someone has stolen my city.
What?
Aye, as I said, I am Sarkov by name.
Yeah, don't go repeating yourself. The record's not that long as it is.
A sorcerer by trade.
Sorcerer.
Oh, one of your most kind-hearted types, let me assure you. I live but to protect my city.
Which is built on rock and roll.
Which is called Koroshan. At least I did protect it, until last night.
When I got majorly shit-faced.
It was stolen away from under me while I slept. I woke to find it gone. Gone.
I mean, I am a famous long-distance sleepwalker, but that's probably unrelated.
No one can steal a whole city, old man.
Then what am I doing here out in the middle of nowhere?
I'll admit I don't know, but I can't...
He stole it, I tell you. Right from under my nose.
I thought your extremely white beard was right under your nose.
And you must help me find it.
I tend to steer clear of wizards, but you seem harmless enough. If I help you find this stolen city of yours, what will I get out of it?
Peace of mind and a tranquil heart.
Not enough.
Do you have any women I could hear lamenting? That's kind of my thing.
I was thinking about money.
I deal in magic, not gold. I'm a sorcerer, not an alchemist.
Damn it, Jim.
But let's see. There must be something I can... Yes, that's it. If you help me find and rescue my stolen city, I will use my great powers to give you...
Your own cinematic franchise.
A throne. The throne of a whole city.
A throne, eh? Well, some time back, an ancient wizard prophesied that I would one day become a king.
Read all about it in Conan the Barbarian Issue 1, published by Marvel, written by Roy Thomas and illustrated by Barry Windsor Smith.
Perhaps you, who look even older than he was, are the one who will bring that to pass.
Never doubt it, Barbarian. I may look old.
I may sound a little like Peter Lorre.
I am old, but I am still a mighty sorcerer.
All right. I'll take a chance with you, old man.
Sarka. The name is Sarka. Have a little respect.
And put a shirt on for crumb's sake.
All right, Sarkov. Here, let me help you onto the saddle, and we'll be off. Now, where is this city of yours, this Koroshan?
Well, it is...
Look, if I knew that, it wouldn't be lost, would it?
It was north of here, near Shemekesh. But now I don't...
North of... You old fool. Shemekesh is south of here.
What? That can't be.
Just look at my horse's sat-nav.
How?
It's clear as the nose on your wrinkled face. Your city wasn't transported away last night. You were.
But that's impossible. Such things just aren't done.
Emily Post says absolutely nothing about it in her book Etiquette for Sorcerers, Necromancers and Chainmail Bikini-Wearing Maidens.
Not the sorcerers. Even he couldn't do such a thing. At least I don't think he could.
Sid Little, I mean. Forget I mentioned him.
But then again,
Who is he?
why, Zorval, of course. He's another sorcerer, my bitter rival.
We're the Drake and Kendrick Lamar of the Hyborian era.
What else could you tell me about him?
Why, only that he's my son.
Your son?
But that was centuries ago.
I haven't paid a dime in child support in the past 700 years.
You see, for years, Zorval has wanted to begin a holy war against Shemakesh. But the Queen of Khorassan took my advice and wouldn't let him lead her city into a war. But now, with me gone, the desert may turn red with blood.
This seems like a lot of backstory to remember. Should I have been writing this down?
Then that's why he got rid of you.
Aye. And now our queen, Mehed is her name, doubtless believes I'm dead.
Just because you're not in your room?
So she'll probably fall under his sway. Right this moment, he's probably drafting all able-bodied young men to fight his holy war for him.
Rishi Sunak is furiously making notes.
Do you think he knows I found you and plan to help you?
Oh, I'm quite sure he does.
Why?
Well, just look up at the sky.
Surrender Dorothy? I don't think that's meant for me. Dorothy's my middle name.
At that moment, Conan suddenly sees the sky has grown black. Yet it is not filled with clouds, but with great giant bats, their inhuman cries turning his blood to ice.
I know it sounds like a bunch of friendly gibbons, but take it from me, the narrator. Bats.
Onward and downward they come, like some great dark blanket of fangs and claws. Conan feels the hairs rise on the nape of his neck.
Does any other part of the body have a nape? Be a pity if it doesn't. Such a good word.
And as he draws his sword,
Ishtar and Mitra.
Popular singing duo. They were the Peters and Lee of their day.
They are the Shadow Bats. They're a special creation of my son. He's always been very proud of them.
You're a sorcerer. How do we fight them?
I'm afraid I've never been able to. I guess you might try your sword.
Robert E. Howard could have come up with something more imaginative.
just then, the great bat-like monsters are upon them. With a snarl that is lost among the gibbering, flittering mass, the Cimmerian swings his great broadsword again and again, cutting a swath through them.
What sort of an animal is a swath?
Shadow bats are not. They're solid enough to be cut and to die.
And there's enough here to feed a family of 4.
Fight Crom. But so many of them. My sword. Let go of me, you filthy.
It's no use, barbarian. Now it's got us both. All we can do is relax and hope it takes us to Zorval.
Unfortunately, our in-flight movie is Kull the Conqueror, starring Kevin Sorbo.
The following moment, Conan finds himself lifted bodily as if he were a child's toy from his horse.
There actually was a Conan action figure back in the 70s, did you know that? Not funny, but true.
As he and the aged Zarkov are borne skyward at a speed which sends the wind whistling by their ears.
He's veering off from the rest. Then he must be taking us to Khorassan.
I've still got my knife. But no sense using it now. We're too high up. If I slew the creature, we'd just fall to our deaths. Got to bide my time.
So we can fall to our deaths when it's more convenient.
Look! There it is!
You mean...
Yes, Khorassan. My stolen city.
You were the one who was stolen, dude. We've been over this.
I recognize the castle. See? In fact, that's where it seems to be taking us now. We're descending.
Lower sweeps the circling gigantic bat. Finally, they are directly over the castle grounds.
Then they unexpectedly veer off and smash through young Bruce Wayne's window.
We're low enough to survive now if this thing dropped us. Must strike! Now!
Yeah, that's probably what a bat scream sounds like. Sure, moving on.
Stung by the barbarian's hard thrust weapon, the startled monster drops both Conan and the wizard.
See, that sounded to me more like Conan's action figure, made by Mego, one of a range that included Captain America, Spider-Man, Batman, and Isis from the Legend of Isis TV show that I'm inevitably going to end up riffing.
Are you all right, Sarkov?
Yes, but where are...
We fell through a skylight. But I guess your magic made us land unhurt.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
We're in some vast chamber.
Ah, then we are bruised, but unbowed.
But that is only a matter of time, Zarkov. For both of you.
Who the devil?
Zorval!
Now I see him. There in the shadows.
The shadows of the stolen city that isn't in any sense stolen?
Son or not, Sarkov, he's an evil-looking specimen. But now I see a throne beside him.
Reasonably content it was there the whole time, Conan. You may just have concussion.
And the woman sitting in it.
I am Mayhet, Queen of Khorassan. It is good to see you again, Sarkov. Your dear son told me you were dead.
Not quite accurate, my queen.
I'm this city's Abe Vigoda.
My queen now, dear father. You should have been content to die where I left you, instead of returning here.
What I said to my parents after they escaped from the nursing home.
Your end will but be that much more terrible.
No one has driven me out of Khorassan in 300 years, and no one is going to stop now.
Apart from earlier this morning.
The decision to resist is yours, and I see you brought some broad-shouldered barbarian to try to help you enforce it. Guards! Seize them both!
Have the broad-shouldered barbarian washed and brought to my chambers. I've had a very stressful day and I need to unwind.
We've got him, sire.
It's one thing to seize a Sumerian dogs, and another to hold him.
Just pausing here for a word from my sponsor, Sealy Posturepedic Beds. Just kidding, I don't have a sponsor, but if Sealy turned out to be looking for a spokesperson, I could go on and on about their incredibly comfortable Posturepedic beds. And now back to the fight already in progress.
He's certainly a strong one, Zorval. Perhaps instead of harming him, you should add him to your army for your holy war.
There must be no more, your majesty.
Silence! Keep your distance, father. I warn you.
The same words spoken by Baron on his graduation day.
If you try to approach the throne...
I always told your mother she should have been more firm with you. A pity she died when you were only 90.
She hadn't even finished weaning you yet.
Now, about this war.
Sarkov.
I am all right, barbarian.
Ishtar, that mystic burst would have slain a normal man.
We are neither of us normal men, my son.
Stanley Johnson's regular reminder to Boris.
Now, why don't we...
No! You are the one person who could ever challenge my power, so you must die.
My regular reminder to Ian Potter.
Father or no.
In that case, my son, I must do this.
A mighty blast.
And the next one will be stronger.
Well, when you reach a certain age, it's only to be expected.
Ha! My own burst parried it. The battle is joined, then.
Yes, regrettably, the battle is joined.
And it just goes on like this for the remainder of the record.
Crom. They're getting nowhere.
They kind of remind me of my writing career in that respect.
I wonder what they'll try next.
Then suddenly, before the startled eyes of the barbarian and the young queen, each man conjures up a glowing, mystic warrior, a shining double of himself, and the two of them clash in cosmic combat.
I only hope your imagination is able to do it justice, because I'm certainly not going to describe it in greater detail. Who do you think I am, Elsbreg de Camp?
So white. I can hardly look at them.
And now, the two gleaming warriors strive one against another, face to face, no swords, but only strength against strength.
If you're picturing the battle between Doc Caliban and Lord Galbraith in the Philip Jose Farmer novel A Feast Unknown, then I beg you, for God's sake, stop. Picture it on your own time.
They're near equal in skills. Sarkov is old. He's tiring. I can see his double getting weaker by the second. Soon, Zorval will overcome him, and...
Barbarian, come to me. I need your help.
The lid of this pickle jar is stuck.
I'm here, but what can my sword do against magic?
Take my hand,
But that would leave you with one.
and I'll gain your strength. Hurry!
Puzzled, the brawny Cimmerian grasps the feeble human hand that reaches out toward him. In that self-same instant, he suddenly feels as if he is drawn out of his own body, pulled mystically, powerfully, through that of the ancient wizard Sarkov.
It sounds vaguely wrong, but it's consensual.
So that the next moment, the mystic warrior of Zorval is grappling with a figure like that of Conan the Barbarian, added to the mystic might of the wily Sarkov.
Transcendental tag team.
Can't fight both of you.
And the next moment, the glowing Conan warrior forces the other to its knees with its sheer savagery. Then, with mighty arms, it crushes its foe into a pulsating mass and hurls it in a living ball of fiery energy toward the screaming Zorval.
Now, if the debate between Keir Starmer and Sunak had been anything like this, I would definitely have watched.
Then, when the light has faded,
Where is Zorval?
My son is no more.
Than a snivelling little git.
Old man, I'm sorry.
No need to be. He had a long life, if not necessarily a good one.
And now I have my epitaph for Rupert Murdoch in the unlikely event that he ever dies.
Well then, not to rush things unduly, but what about my reward?
Oh, yes. Your Majesty, I'm afraid that I promised this young man a throne.
Luckily, I never promised him a rose garden, so I don't have to beg his pardon.
If he saved your city, our city, from the clutches of Zorval. No, I had no authority to do so, but I...
Say no more, dear Sarkov.
You have a very annoying voice.
Ruling a city in the desert is lonely work. I have been lonely here, and you, barbarian, are a very handsome young man.
Then you and your people would accept me as your king?
King?
What we really need is someone to shovel up all the guano left after the giant bat attacks.
Oh no, Coruscant has forever been ruled by a queen, and ever shall be. But you will still get to sit on a throne, only it would be a little lower than my own.
I'm made of porcelain.
And you could wear a crown. A little one, of course.
Of course.
But there are things you could lord it over. The annual Date Merchants Festival, for instance, or the caravans of camels which pass through the city.
I understand you have a history of punching out camels in the Schwarzenegger movies.
I find them much too smelly. Oh, and occasionally there might be an archery contest.
Sarkov, is this what you meant by giving me a throne? Marrying me to this...
Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time.
The same is true of every diet I've ever been on.
Then I free you from your bargain. I'm afraid I must decline your generous offer, Your Majesty.
What? I'm afraid I don't quite...
Sorry, Highness, I have business up north, where I heard there are new wars stirring among the Hyborians. But for me, just give me a sword on my hip and a horse between my knees.
Actually, forget the sword. Do you maybe have a gun? A gun will be really useful. And with that, we come to the end of the first Conan riff. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you'd like access to over 100 other riffs, including classic Doctor Who, Captain America, and Jason of Star Command, become a subscriber on Patreon.